The Humminbird Bassmaster Elite at the St. Lawrence River. An incredible week and good time right now to sit and look back at what we have seen, and it's always terrific every time we end our season or any time during the year when we come to the St. Lawrence River and Lake Ontario. Let's take a look at some of the performances that have caught our eye, and they are many. We've had some magic moments during this special week. Let's start it out with our Angler of the Year, Cory Johnston.
Yeah, let's do that, Tommy Sanders. And your Humminbird unlocked the lake. And it was a little bit itchy-scratchy on days 1 and 2 for Cory Johnston, your Angler of the Year winner. In fact, day 2, at one time, all of us in the studio were kind of worried, is Cory Johnston going to actually make the cut? He did that, caught right around 21 pounds. A lot of his work throughout this tournament, little quarter-ounce jig head minnow. And the interesting thing about Cory Johnston in this tournament, it was one of the only times we have heard him say, get ready for this, I'm not sure I could catch a limit going into day 1. Wait, what?
No.
A lot of his areas were out on the Canadian side of Lake Ontario and then moving into the river right around Carlton Island. Known community hole that actually this man right here put on the map. Cory Johnston, a monstrous day 3, over 29 pounds of bass.
Day 3, weather kicked up. Water got way more heavy in the wind as well, and that's where he gains an advantage.
29 pounds, 5 ounces on day 3, tied for the biggest limit of smallmouth bass in B.A.S.S history, along with Brian Smith, who did it the prior year. That helped him lead to the Bassmaster Angler of the Year trophy.
What a moment for Cory Johnston and family out there. What a moment for Canada, the first Canadian ever winner of the Bassmaster, Progressive Bassmaster Angler of the Year award. And now to his brother Cory, equally giant threat, always in the background in everyone's mind who's fished here in the last 6 years.
The only word you can use for Cory Johnston, dude, is an animal. One of the only anglers to decide to run out into the lake on days 3 and days 4. So nice, beautiful upstate New York weather on days 1 and 2. Well, it reared its ugly head in a big way as we got to the midpoint of this event. Cory Johnston, always so consistent, fishing around the Amherst Island. We'll just call it the Amherst Island region, from call it 20 out to 29 feet of water. And if you really, throughout day 3, actually, seeing Cory staring at his forward-facing sonar, got seasick, did a little bit of chumming over the sides, recovering, and yet another big finish. Again, a lot of his work with a jig head minnow in this event.
It's incredible, Tommy Z, that he was tied with Robert G after day 2 of this event. 52 pounds, 7 ounces.
Yeah.
Had relatively calm conditions day 1 and 2, and he was tied. Not leading, but still able to keep pace with the weather that was thrown his way on day 3 and 4. That is impressive because they bite well in this weather, Z, but it is so hard to do your job.
The other thing is actually making the run from Waddington to where he was just at, and then collecting your marbles and getting the work done. From there, your Rookie of the Year winner, Trey McKinny from Southern Illinois, getting it done here on big smallmouth fishing, that same community hole off of Carlton Island. And the interesting thing is watching Trey throughout this week, a lot of work with a drop shot and a jig head minnow. Got a little love from one Robert G on day 3 of this tournament about that deal. The thing about Trey McKinny, a little bit more off into the main shipping channel, a little bit deeper than guys like Cory Johnston and Robert G. Big year for the rookie, Trey McKinny.
What was the main channel called right there?
Diablo's Trench.
Diablo's Trench.
Yes.
I like to hear. Well, Trey McKinny has made it a habit of landing in seemingly the right places just about everywhere he's been as far as fishing spots go.
Yes.
For sure.
And this 19-year-old, I mean, he was 18 when the season started, 19 when he wins at Lake Fork. He's got a lot to learn, and he's going to learn that hopefully, but he's got a bright future. He has the skill, the ability, and the desire. Spent a month here after Smith, knowing he had just messed up his whole season, and he's not good at smallmouth. I've got to figure it out, put in pre-practice time, and it has yielded him a great finish here.
Yes.
Not good at smallmouth. I don't know about that. He was one of the most consistent of the whole crew. And of course, this magic moment for the young man, the 19-year-old from Illinois, being crowned the Bassmaster Rookie of the Year.
And really hard to describe without Smith Lake. You talked about it. He would have blown the Angler of the Year trophy away this season.
Great highs, some great lows, but the big high at the end of the year for that man. And another rookie, is this going to be the big high at the end of the year? Because he's gotten close.
Man.
He's got a 4th, a 3rd, and a 2nd throughout this season.
When we started at Toledo Bend, Z, you were sitting right there between me and Tommy, and we didn't know, of all the rookies, we knew less about Robert G than most. A lot of these other ones came in with pedigree from the college series or from YouTube, things like that. We knew about them. Robert G just did his job in the opens, stayed consistent, didn't have much flair, so we had a lot to learn. And boy, 9 events later, Z, we have learned a lot. And this man is young, fun to watch, and boy, he can catch them.
He's a good guy, man. He's been fun to cover, genuine, from Tennessee. And looking at what he's done, hey, granted, it may be a big-time community hole. In fact, he's the one that called it that this is a community hole off of Carlton Island. But to do what he did in this tournament and take down 2 of the giants of this area, Cory and Chris Johnston.
Boom, baby.
Big week for rookie Robert G. The happy Ewok.
And not even just the fishing aspect of his tournament week. Managing emotions with what was dealt. Like that is hard when you have the sheriff pull up and say, hey,
the
this is mine.
stormtrooper.
I understand.
Well, that will do it right there. Some great looks at the things that happened this week on the St. Lawrence River and Lake Ontario. What a tournament. And that's it for today. The Humminbird. Unlock the lake.